First foremost, I start out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Kakadash, the Abundant apostles, elders, bishops of Great Millstone who rule well and also taught me this truth. Shalom to you fellow laborers out there pushing the truth of sincerity and use your body as a living sacrifice, as the scriptures say. I'm Kara from Children of Light with another lesson through the spirit, power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua. You know? And this is high time to wake up out of sleep, man. You know, Esau is very afraid, you know, because his judgment lingereth not, you know. And that's why you're seeing them pushing so hard in this time, because they know that they have but a little time. They know the time is short, you know. They're not letting up. They're not cutting no slack. Salaki, I got this goddamn do-rag on. Forgive me. Salaki. Baba Shah. But yeah, they not letting up, man. You know, we at that boiling point. You know, the stage has already been set for these people to fight against each other, whether it's on a political basis, you know, geopolitics, religion, whatever it may be. They completely divided on all fronts. And this Trump, giving all authority to ICE, you know, that just made it even worse. Because now you got a lot of agent provocateurs, you know, that are stoking the flames, for lack of a better word. So it's definitely high time to wake up out of sleep, and for you to keep your garments. Matter of fact, let me get a quick scripture, because that just came to mind. What is it? Revelation 16 and 15 verse. It says, it's like bright as hell. Revelation 16 and 15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garment, lest he walk naked and they see his shame, you know. And the watch, you know, that's the point of Yahushua setting us up to be watchmen. You know, if you're watching and keeping your garments, you won't be. Well, first of all, if you're watching, you won't be found sleeping, because you're watching. You know, it won't creep up on you, right? And what are we watching? We watching the prophecies. That's how you measure the time. 2nd Ezra 9:1, measure the time diligently in itself. You know, these are the signs that are what Yahushua spoke of in Matthew the 24th chapter, when the disciples said, Master, when will be the sign of thy coming? You know, and he said, there shall be uproars of the people, you know, famines, pestilence, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. And that's exactly what's happening, you know. And to keep your garments. What is the garments? The garments is this truth, this knowledge, this wisdom, this understanding, man. You know. See, you caught without this truth, you're naked, man. You know, completely naked. This truth is the garment, right? And real quick, let me go to what is it I want to grab? Isaiah 52, I believe. And I had none of this already set up, you know, just flowing through the spirit. You know, it says, awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion. So it's high time to wake up out of sleep. It's time to wake up and put your strength on. And what is your strength? This wisdom and understanding, man. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You know, O Zion, put on thy beautiful garments. You know, because Yahushua is coming like a husbandman for his bride. And who is his bride? His bride is the elect of the nation of Israel. So you want to have your best shit on. You want to have your best, putting your best foot forth in this ministry. You know, you want to be on fire. You know, remember Yahushua said, when the master return, surely he shall find a servant doing, right? The very damn thing that he commanded him to do while he was gone. You know, it says, O Jerusalem, thy holy city, from henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean. And that's the truth, because Yahushua is only coming for the elect of the nation of Israel, the remnant, you know, because we're going to be changed. We're going to take off this mortality and put on immortality, you know. And remember, the scriptures say, how does a young man cleanse his ways? You know, by taking hold of these scriptures, right? Because the only way out of what's coming ahead is Yahushua. And he had to put the spirit on you, not only for you to escape Jacob's trouble, but also to resist the charagma. Because this is a trial, this is a test to test the whole world. You know, this is I believe that's Revelation 3:10. It's a test, man. You know, remember it said acceptable men in the furnace of affliction, right? Because Yahuwah Shem Yahushua is purifying the elect. You know, they're gonna be found tried as pure gold, just like the three holy children and the furnace. They kept their faith, man, and they said, whether the Lord save us or not, we still not bowing down, you know. And what ultimately happened, Yahushua saved them from the furnace, you know. Shake thyself from the dust, arise, and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion. Right, come up out of this American way of thinking, this African American way of thinking, this Babylonian way of thinking, this nigger culture, man. Come up out of that. Shake that shit loose, man. You know, because all they trying to do is rock you back to sleep. It don't matter if it's the sellouts in Israel. It don't matter if it's the and when I say Israel, I don't mean the nation, I mean the people. You know, you got Israelites that is sold out and took the bag and trying to rock you back to sleep with this Christianity bullshit. You know, the scriptures say the leader of these people calls them the earth, right? And those that are led by the blind are going to be in a ditch, and that's just the truth. For thus saith the Lord, ye sold yourselves for naught, and you shall be redeemed without money. You know? And you see these, remember the scriptures say, what was it? I was envious at the wicked. I was envious at the prosperity of the wicked. You know, don't, you know, you're supposed to be lowly, you know? You're going to have just enough. The Lord is going to provide you with what you need. You know, the world is going to tell you, oh, yeah, you need this, this, and this to be considered a pastor or a preacher or a prophet. You know, you need a massive church, you know. That's the way to salvation. No, it's not. You know, those people are sold out. You know, you see the so-called, well, not so-called, but you see the Christian pastors. All of them belong to some fraternity. They throwing up Baphomets, you know, Satan hand signals and shit, you know, because they've sold out. It says, for thus saith the Lord, ye have sold yourselves for naught, and ye shall be redeemed without money. That's the point. See, money ain't gonna save you, man. The scripture saying, thy security, thy shall perish. It's not the money that's gonna save you, man. It's Yahushua that's gonna save you. You know, it's your faith in your works. But not only that, you have to already be predestined. You know, many are called, but only a few are chosen. For thus saith the Lord, power, my people went down aforetime into Egypt to sojourn there, and the Assyrians oppressed them without cause. Now therefore what I have here, saith the Lord, that my people is taken away for naught, that they that rule over them make them to howl, saith the Lord, and my name continually every day is blasphemed. You know, and that's here in Babylon. Every day the Lord's name is blasphemed. You know, and our people are howling. They howling for reparations. They howling for, you know, better wages. They're howling for equal rights. They're howling. You know, ever since we came on the coast of America, man, we have been doing nothing but howling. The first slave ship was 1611. Correct me if I'm wrong. And blacks own less than, so-called blacks own less than 1% of the nation's wealth. Now fast forward to 2026. What has changed with those statistics? Do they own 5-10% of the nation's wealth? No, you still own less than 1% of the nation's wealth. You know, we're Lazarus, you know, begging for the crumbs to fall off the rich man's plate. You know, and that's what a lot of these jakes are happy with. You know, your Rick Ross, your TD Jakes, you know, they okay with the crumbs. But when they done with you, whenever you have fulfilled their agenda, then they cast you aside, like they did Puff Daddy, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, Prince, Michael Jackson, you name it, whomever. You know, because these people had never let up, and they know they ain't nothing but the goddamn devil. And that's why they moving so fast, because they know these epistles keep going up. These videos are going up nonstop. The name Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah is becoming a household name. You know, this truth has what it say? This truth shall cover the whole world, then the end shall come. And I'm just merely paraphrasing, but that's the time that we're in right now. The astrologers and stargazers, they have the answers, but they don't know the answers, if that make any sense. They know that their time is up, but they don't know when. They just know it's up because of the dollar. The dollar is falling. No matter what they do, they can't get this place back to where it used to be. You know, and that reminds me of that scripture where it says, I shall sit like a lady, I shall sit as a lady, I shall not know widow, or I shall not know loss of children nor poverty, whatever. Well, not whatever, but I'm merely paraphrasing. Yeah, that scripture should come to mind, you know, because that's the time we're in. You know, there's a counter to Babylon, and it's called the BRICS Nation, and you watching it play out with the whole Maduro situation in Venezuela. You know, trying to get the Cubans on board to accept American democracy and the dollar, and a lot of countries are washing their hands with the U.S. and the U.S. dollar, even their own allies. You know, Canada just made a deal with China. They said, "Fuck that, man. We ain't dealing with our brother no more. You know, we gonna deal with Moab." You know. So, man, I pray you were edified. Until next time, Shalom, Kwame Yasharallah. Shalom to the elect.